You're listening to the I Do Crew podcast with Jen and Emma, the international I Do Crew podcast, as we learned last week. Please like, subscribe, rate, and review our podcast on the platform that you listen or watch us on. We really need that support and appreciate all of you for being here every week with us. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we get into this week's episode, can you please describe to our listeners what you're wearing before we go on?
Oh, you're outing me, are you?
Yep.
So if you are a listener on YouTube, you would have noticed that we have stopped recording ourselves. So all you're listening to on YouTube is the audio. And that's just until we get better equipment that allows us to edit it a bit better. So for the past couple of podcasts, I've not really had to do anything to make myself look presentable. So I'm currently wearing 3-day-old greasy hair up in a chignon. Is that what they're called?
I've got no idea.
A
In
clip.
a clip.
And I'm wearing a massive hoodie, which is like a big, massive fleece hoodie. It's blue with stars, and it says Harry Potter on the front.
I like that you're holding that up to my camera.
You can see that Harry Potter on the front. And then I've got my Christmas pajamas on underneath. Big fluffy socks.
Done. Not quite Halloween yet, but I appreciate the Christmas ensemble.
Yeah, they're the only warm pajamas I've got. So they're on.
I wish you could all see it now. This week we're talking all things the morning of your wedding. What did you do for the morning of your wedding?
My morning was really quite relaxed. So me and my bridesmaid stayed at my house, and we woke up, we had a breakfast delivered. So we had like croissants and orange juice and everything delivered, and we just had the hair lady come and the makeup lady come, and it's just really, really relaxed. We spent most of our time getting our hair and makeup done all in the living room. Then my mum arrived at some point to join in sort of all I can say is just really relaxed the whole time. My bridesmaids did a great job of just keeping everything relaxed. Got in my dress, my dad turned up, hadn't learned how to do a bow tie, so then I had to panic to try and do that. He left our house he had shingles, my dad, down his neck, so he's not a suit kind of guy either, so he was really uncomfortable in the suit or with his shingles. And we have the photos that are outside our house as we were sort of leaving. He's got his bow tie undone because I couldn't work out how to do it, and then he had to run into the venue and get Jordan to go and do his bow tie. But that was the only thing that sort of went a little bit wrong. It was just really, really relaxed. Jordan and I were meant to be coming back home after, but it turns out he'd done a surprise for us to go away. So I'd arranged for our cleaner to come in after we'd left and tidy up and give everything, change all the sheets and put all of the glasses and everything that were everywhere away. Mm-hmm. So we would have arrived home to a really nice, clean house.
Did you plan for it to be chill, or did it just happen that way?
I didn't really think about it, but the people that I was with, it wouldn't have been like party, and it wouldn't have been stressy because that's not the type of people my bridesmaids are.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a natural thing, and it worked really nice because it kept me relaxed. Yeah, what about you?
Obviously I had 2 morning offs.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a family tradition in our house. In our family, not our house. Well, it used to be anyway, where if one of the girls, because I'm one of 5 siblings, and there's 3 girls as part of that sibling group, So tradition has always been the night before. Even with my best friend, even with some of the weddings that I've been to, tradition is to spend the night before with your gal pals. A family tradition is watching Bridesmaids, having a Wagamama's or something like that, and just sort of chilling, chatting about the plan for the next day, blah, blah, blah. So that's what we did at my sister's house. She volunteered to host me the night before, and it was actually probably one of the nicest memories. Well, one of our top 5 nicest memories, I would say, because after the rest of the girls had left, it was just me and my sister, and we've
Mhm.
grown up together, well, obviously. So we've been a blended family since we were 9, since, yeah, me and my sister were 9, and we basically brought her mum and my dad together. You know, when you go round after school and you play and you have like a play date, and we would always be like, "Oh, Andy, would you like to come in and have a cup of tea?" Okay, yeah. Okay, would you like to just sit down and have a drink while we play for a bit longer? All tactics, of course. So we've been together as a family for longer than my parents were married now. And my sister, it was just really nice to be there, and she'd made the room up for me. So I was in her spare room, had the whole top floor to myself, which had its own bathroom. It was just a really nice experience. She brought me a cup of tea in bed in the morning. She's just a really good caretaker, is the wrong word, because she's more than that. She really looked after me.
Good host.
Yeah, a good host, and knew what was important. So
Mhm.
we had a bit of girl chat because we used to share a room when we were growing up. So it was similar to that. We had girl chat before we went to bed. Then she brought me a cup of tea in the morning. We just caught up about what the plan was and how I was feeling and all of that kind of thing. And then I spent most of the morning of the first day by myself, which I quite liked, to be honest.
Yeah, bit of
Well,
quiet time before the chaos.
that's right. So I walked to the hair salon where I was getting my hair done by myself, picked up a coffee on the way, sat in the hair salon chair, and just chilled on my own while they were doing my hair. Then my best friend met me to have her hair done. And then we all got ready. So me, my bridesmaids all got ready at my sister's after. I think I also spoke to Ian on the phone that morning just to catch up on how he'd got on, what he was up to, whether everything was in on plan. The flowers were being picked up that morning too, so I wanted to make sure that that was all being sorted while I was glamming. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, nice.
Then all hell broke loose when everyone started doing the makeup and getting ready, and but it was just organised chaos.
Yeah, and
It was nice.
you have more bridesmaids and more people to sort of up, because I think the more people you have, the more energy there is.
Yeah.
Um, not necessarily bad or good energy, but there's just more noise, isn't there? So it feels a bit more chaotic.
Yeah, and I think that's why it was important to me to have that time on my own.
Yeah, yeah,
As much as I love being around everybody, I find it takes a lot out of me being around people for a long periods of time. I really have to sort of manage my own sanity, if you like. And I knew that the next, after that chill morning, after my sister had brought me the cup of tea, after I'd had my hair done, I knew that it was going to be chaos for the next sort of couple of days.
yeah,
Um, so that was really important to me. One thing, I sort of did it differently the next day because I really wanted everybody to be getting ready together. I wanted that experience of all having our hair and makeup done in the same room at the same time. I'd made sure that they all had the outfits that I wanted them to wear that morning. So it was pretty chill the day before because there weren't like outfits or photographers at the getting ready part, but the photographer was there when we got ready the second day. So I wanted them all to look like they were part of the bridal party. I got them personalized tea mugs because not everybody in my bridal party drank alcohol, and actually it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. So who wants? No thanks. Just want a nice cup of tea actually. Um, and then one of my good friends, Emma Wilson, arranged for the refreshments to be there. So it was important to me that everybody had some food, had some snacks, because we weren't eating till maybe 2:30, something like that. It's a long time when you're getting ready from 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and you'll be surprised how many people don't eat at all.
Yeah.
Just adds, I think, not only does, if you're drinking, it sort of soaks up a bit of that so you don't get as drunk quick, because everyone's a bit nervous, it just brings that anxiety. If you've got a full stomach, it sort of dampens the anxiety a bit.
Yeah. And I think if you filled up on pork pies, who's not going to be happy about it?
Exactly.
A little bit of Scotch egg.
Yeah.
Love Scotch egg. Yeah, and then the morning kind of moved on from that. So as my girls were getting like finished getting ready and their hair was done, their makeup was done, they sort of just started getting themselves dressed naturally. Then they helped me to get into my second dress, and just sort of naturally then became opening the champagne, and just moved into a different part of the morning. But I honestly wish that I'd cleaned up and tidied before we left, because so how many of us would have been in there? So there was 5, 6, 7, 8, possibly 10 people coming in for a little drink before they went on to the venue. 12 people were staying on site. Were 12, 2, 4, 6, 10 people staying on site. So it's quite a busy accommodation situation that we had. And I wish that I had tidied up even a little bit before we'd left, because it was literally a bomb site when we got back.
Yeah, that's why we did it at home, but you can do this anyway. You can get somebody, whether it's part of the hotel or whatever your situation, get somebody to go in and just tidy up, because there is nothing worse than going in and having like open bags spilling out and old food on the side. You want to go in as newlyweds.
Mm-hmm.
There's something that's clean, don't you?
Yeah, no, we didn't. I mean, it wasn't an absolute dump, but tea mugs,
Yeah.
champagne glasses, empty bottles. The hairstylist has basically left her entire box of hair clips and styling tools in the accommodation. She just said her farewells and left without taking any of her kit. So I had all of that. Ian had been staying there for a couple of days anyway, so there was his bits and bobs. Chairs had been moved. Just getting.
It doesn't make it feel welcoming, does it?
Well, by the time we got back to the accommodation, I was just happy I'd got my cheese and garlic bread. So I went upstairs, got into our bedroom, took my dress off, took my makeup off, got into my bridal pajamas, and ate the cheesy garlic bread.
Yeah.
Had a great time.
Yeah, that would be one of my top tips though. Is if you're getting ready and going back there in the same day, get somebody to sort of tidy up.
Because even when you get ready for a night out or a day out with the girls or the races or anything, for whatever reason, I seem to get all of my makeup out,
Yeah.
all of my clothes, because I'm panic trying on things, and then there's not enough time, so I end up leaving my towel on the floor. There's just never enough time.
I know. What is it about getting ready to go out that's completely different than getting ready to go to work? Because if you're getting ready to go to work and you put a pair of trousers on and go, well, actually, I don't really fancy wearing these, you'd take them off, fold them up, and put them back, wouldn't you? If you're getting ready to go out, just put it all over the floor, and there's petals like half plugged in, like a different world, isn't it?
I think it's the panic, the pressure.
Funny.
The pressure is all in your mind, because actually, if you're just going out with the girls for the day, no one cares. They're just happy to be together.
Exactly.
No one cares if you're wearing the right top or the wrong shoes or whatever else you're doing.
No.
Or if you straighten your hair. No one cares apart from you.
No, I know. I also, when you were saying that you, on your first day, you went to the hairdressers and it was quite nice to have that time on your own. I actually put the makeup artist upstairs in our spare room. One, because the light was better for her. But I think actually looking back on that was so that I could go up there and have some time on my own, because you don't really have to speak to your makeup artist. So I think I probably subconsciously did that so that everybody had a good 40 minutes just on their own.
I think that's important.
Yeah, especially if you are a bit introvert.
Yeah. I've made a list of tips and tricks for the morning off for those people that are like, oh my God, what do I do?
I've got a list too.
I think, first of all, if matching pajamas, etc., isn't your vibe, just don't worry about it, because it actually costs quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
But what I would say is plan your bridal loungewear or pajamas or robe or all three or whatever, just so that whether you're a bride, whether you're a groom, whatever your situation is, that to me that was quite special.
Yeah, and also one of my tips is to not wear underwear in the morning, because you don't want if you've got a strapless dress, you don't want your bra marks, you don't want sock marks, that type of thing. So if you've got like a nice robe that you feel comfortable in, it will stop you having funny clothes marks too.
I didn't even think about that, because I do get sock marks. I can be wearing socks for 5 minutes. I can be wearing a hat on my head. So, long story short, that's probably quite boring for most people. With my team at work and my day job, we tend to do a lot of sort of social Teams calls because they're based all across the country. And one of the girls, she was off to see 50 Cent this weekend. So at 4:10 on a Friday, I messaged the rest of the team to say, how quickly can you pull together a 50 Cent costume? I decided that I was going to wear a gold chain. I've got this it's like a sleeveless denim gilet thing that I wore for another party. I have a bandana, and then I borrowed one of Ian's trucker caps. But just wearing that bandana and the trucker cap on my head for not even half an hour created a dent in my forehead.
Yeah, you see brides that have like hair bubbles,
Yeah,
a hair elastic around your wrist, and then you've got a line. So you need to like just have a loose nightgown or a robe on. Stops all of that.
yeah. I think, what did I wear? I think I had, well, I definitely had bridal pajamas, but they were wide leg, so there was no bunching round the ankles. No bra.
Yeah, no bra. I think pajamas are fine because you don't often have your midriff out on a typical wedding dress. So if there's a bit of a line there, it just
True.
needs to be loose and not digging in anywhere.
Don't want to be worrying about, oh God. Well, but no, I'm not going to say that.
And it does make everybody having a matching robe. It does make the photos turn out really nice, because even if you don't notice it so much that you've all got matching pajamas on or whatever, photos just look nicer because you
Yeah,
haven't got somebody with leopard print jammies on, some people with, it just softens and makes it look a bit more.
that is the main reason why I bought them as part of their Will You Be My Bridesmaid gifts, because I wanted them to wear them the morning of, including their little slippers that I got, which said bridesmaid, maid of honor, chief bridesmaid. So they all had the same robe, same slippers. And after their hair and makeup was done, we just had a mini photo shoot with a photographer.
Yeah.
Before we then got into our dresses. And my sister did the same thing at her wedding in July.
I did the same too.
Yeah. Although the photographer's hype man, which was her dad, seemed to enjoy the photo shoot a bit more than everyone else.
Nice.
It was hilarious at the time, but I mean, I found it hilarious anyway. He had a great time. Can't even remember what his name was. Get an early night the night before.
Yeah, I have early night on my list too.
Because you don't want to be rolling in from the sesh.
Nope. Last week we talked about when I was a makeup artist and turning up to a hotel ready to start the makeup and look like they'd been out in Vegas. They were lovely, but it doesn't make for, you feel bad You're waking up in a bit of a pigsty, not really sure what's going on. And alcohol and stuff makes your face really puffy.
Mm.
So you're not going to look as fresh and put together.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, it depends what kind of wedding you're having, but I'd quite like to get married with a clear head, not
Yeah.
thinking, oh, good Lord, I could puke at any time.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a really long day.
Mm.
You tend to be getting up at 6 and not going to bed till 1 or 2 by the time you've got home or whatever.
Yep.
And so you don't want to be, you need a bit of rest the night before.
Yep.
Yeah, we went to bed early. I had the night before, I had somebody come and do our nails. We had a glass of champagne. I think we were in bed by 10:30 because I just needed to rest and put
Mm-hmm.
some face masks on,
Chill.
watched a film. Yeah, I have an early night on my list too.
I've also got lay out your dress and accessories, or hang your dress and steam, all of that kind of thing. Do all of that the night before, just so that it's all ready to go.
Yeah, and your bridesmaids' dresses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got yeah. So and also if you've got it all laid out and you've got on your side table or your dressing table or wherever, you've got all of the accessories, shoes, everything you need. You know where it all is, so you don't have to go running around. Oh no, where's that bag with that hair clip in, or where's
Mm-hmm.
the veil? Because you know where it all is.
And organising your jewellery, and even organising the bits and bobs that you want to go into your little day bag.
Mm-hmm.
All of that the night before. Because ultimately, the makeup artist isn't going to be using your makeup to do, well, I mean, they might be, but your powder and your lipstick is probably the bits that need to go in your bag, and just, you can just prep it all.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Take a few moments for yourself, or in my case, the entire morning.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, let's say you're having a country house wedding and you've all stayed in the same room the night before, then all of your bridesmaids are there when you wake up, and then you have your hair and makeup done in the same room, blah, blah, blah. I've been a bridesmaid at a wedding where that was the case. We all shared a room the night before. Um, the bride, we all got ready in the bridal suite. Don't think it was the bridal suite, but because they were moving rooms. But even that was quite stressful because she had to pack everything before she went down for the ceremony. So she was stressing out about all of that. Then all of a sudden, she just became really overwhelmed when she got into her dress, and there were just far too many people in the room. And she just whispered to me, "Can you just get everyone out for 5 minutes?" So I just cleared the room. That even her mum, I cleared her mum out, and she just had 15, 20 minutes just to take some deep breaths, just to relax a little bit, take it all in, so that she's ready for the ceremony. And that really surprised me because she's really social. She planned everything to the minute,
Yeah.
but she just needed that break from everyone.
Yeah, I think you do, because also you're the person that's getting asked the questions. Like, oh, would you like us to have a plait down the side? Even though a lot of this has been planned, you know, suppliers and makeup artists and hair people and phone calls coming in, they do like to just check. And so you're answering loads and loads of questions as well. So
Mm-hmm.
you probably don't even realize how many decisions you're making. So I think having some time on your own that's not locked in the toilet, where you've gone and locked yourself in the toilet, you need go to the bedroom or to the lounge area and just shut the door and take some time.
And I think people will understand.
Yeah.
Also, it's your wedding, so if you want to have a bridezilla moment, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, and if you need half an hour to go and meditate or whatever you need to do it, because it's
Mm-hmm.
actually you that's then got to go face the rest of the day. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're already feeling anxious and you've not even left the room yet, you need to just have some time to refocus.
Mm-hmm. I also put get your hair and makeup done professionally. I find nothing more stressful than my hair. Like if you I just would really like, I think curling my hair tonight would be great. It takes 10 hours.
Yeah, and it never turns out right, does it?
No. But if you've got a professional and you've had your makeup trial and your hair trial, not a lot can go wrong, I don't think.
So, and on that, even if you've had your trial and on the day, if they haven't done the wing line just like you wanted, say something.
Oh yeah, say something.
They won't be offended. If you say, "Oh, I was thinking I'd have a bit more liner," or "I was thinking that I'd have less liner," or they won't be offended. So
No.
don't go and then try and sort it out yourself
Oh no, don't do that.
with a Q-tip with a earbud, because you'll ruin it.
And when I had my hair trial, we did quite a few different styles, down, half up, half down, and then a few updos. And we'd agreed on one at that time, but then I changed my mind. So I didn't want any bits down at the front because I knew that I'd be in this hair all day. I
Mhm.
wanted it all back. Didn't want any bits down the front around my face. And she was fine with it.
They are.
I think it's quite unusual for a bride to have all of their hair back, but she was fine with it.
Yeah, and also you wear your hair up in a bun a lot, so it's not something that's too far away from your natural style, so it worked really nice.
And to have, I think if I'd had the hair pieces down shaping my face, it would have been weird.
Yeah.
It just wasn't natural for me to do that,
Yeah.
which is what I had done in the trial, and that's what we'd agreed on. But I knew that that wasn't right, so changed my mind on the day.
Also, just talking about the hair and makeup, schedule, if you're having your hair and makeup done and you're paying and your bridesmaids are having theirs done as well, schedule yourself in the middle. Don't go first and don't go last for both, because the first ones are a bit too early and then the last ones tend to be a bit more rushed because it's getting a bit to panic stations to the time. So if you're in the middle, you get the best of both worlds. And also, if you then look at yourself in the mirror a few times and you decide that you want a different lip or something, there's time to go in and rectify that, and then
Yeah.
go with the hair, go in the middle.
Mm-hmm. It's good advice, Em. Get your playlist on.
Yeah.
Get some good vibes and some good tunes playing on in the background. Nothing more awkward than someone's stomach rumbling while you're all having your hair and makeup done, I think. And mainly my stomach. So let's get some background noise on so that no one can hear that.
Yeah, and also if there's music, you don't feel like you have to be speaking the whole time.
No.
Yeah, that's a brilliant.
And it can be some of your favourite songs. It can be something relaxing. It can be chilled vibes. It really sets the tone for your morning.
Yeah.
So if you want like pre-wedding rave, that's fine. If you
Yeah.
want pre-wedding meditation, that's also fine.
What was on your playlist, Jen?
Just absolute bangers from the minute the girls arrived to the minute we left for the venue.
Was it like 90s pop?
It was more like, well, Little Mix Black Magic featured heavily during my hen do and wedding. Um, House bangers. I'm a huge fan of a saxophone, so that have featured heavily. Just absolute tunes from, I'd say, mid 2000s.
Yeah, perfect.
Just bangers.
I can't remember what was on mine. I probably would have gone quite chilled. So I probably would have put some like film scores and that type of thing. Bit Disney probably was on there.
Disney classical.
Yeah. I actually
What's
can't remember, but it's likely it would have been that.
Is it Fantasia that's the classical
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse thing?
There would have been probably some Hans Zimmer in there.
Mm,
And
very
then you would have
sophisticated.
yeah, then there would have been a bit of like Spice Girls probably.
Yeah, probably. Um, my last one, confirm all timings and planning in advance so you don't have to worry about it on the day. So event running order, supplier timings, all of that kind of thing. I was quite organised with mine. So we had a sheet of which supplier was arriving at what time, who they needed to touch base with. I also had a couple of people at the venue that were on point for questions and where do things go and blah, blah, blah. Also the bar, what time, when they need to start getting the drinks ready, all of that kind of thing. Wrote it on an event running sheet so that everybody knew what the time was, when things needed to be done. I sent that out before, probably the week of the wedding, just so that then if people that I had on point to meet and greet suppliers could ask any questions or anything. You honestly don't have to worry about anything on the day because you've covered it all off beforehand.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Last thing you want to do is chat to the caterer while you're having your hair and makeup done.
Yeah, and give that list to lots of people.
Yeah.
So if somebody asks a question, it doesn't have to be you that's answering it. Somebody, like, there'll be a handful of people that can answer it before they get to you. That's brilliant.
Anything else on your list, Em?
I was thinking about, so you mentioned about having like the music to set the vibe. I was thinking about making sure that you've got some scented candles and stuff so that it's, you're sort of setting the vibe with the scent, because I think that can be really important. And sort of just treat yourself, really. If you really like having a bath, make sure you leave time in the morning to have a nice bubble bath or something. If you prefer showers, make sure you leave time to have a nice long shower. And always make sure there's half an hour longer for everything you're planning to do in the morning.
100%.
Because time does go very quickly.
It goes really fast.
Yeah.
But yet, when you're sat in the doctor's surgery, time stands still.
Yeah, I know. It's before you know it, you'll be in the car going to the church or your venue.
It's mad, isn't it, how quickly it all goes?
It's really quick. So just do some little things that makes you feel special. I love the scent thing. I didn't do that, but I wish I did.
Yeah, like having nice lavender candles or
diffuser, or
Yeah. I didn't do that either, but I wish I had. That's my kind of vibe.
Yeah. And then I would say, even though you've got your plan and you've planned an extra 30 minutes for hair and makeup, or you've asked your dad to turn up 30 minutes before he really needs to be there, if it doesn't all go to plan and he's late, or you're having your hair's not starting and it's 20 minutes late, don't worry. Don't get anxious about it. That is just a guideline. Don't worry. That they'll make up time somewhere else. Not
Have you
your
ever
problem.
seen a morning of go terribly wrong?
The morning. So I've been part of quite a few in like a makeup artist sense, and the latest they've left is 10 minutes late. It's not it. Nothing that can go wrong that can't be solved. They can be stressful because people are anxious, but there's nothing that can really go wrong.
No, I don't. I'm trying to think if I've ever been involved in a morning of that went wrong. I've been involved in something that went wrong after the ceremony. So my sister's wedding earlier this year, she was running a little bit late, but that's who she is anyway, so that's to be expected. We were then traveling in two different cars to the ceremony from the venue. So she got into the vintage Rolls Royce, I want to say. I think it was a Rolls Royce, which took her and her mum to the church, and then my dad met them there, mainly because the church was in the village where my parents lived, so it didn't make sense for my dad to drive all the way from where he lived to the venue to get into the car to then drive all the way back in the car to the church. So it's just easier for my sister and her mum to be in the car, and then my dad met them later. While they were in the car, I don't know if I've told this story on the pod yet. I probably have. When they were in the car, my sister was just there with her Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip gloss, just topping up, and her mum was like, "No, no, no, don't do that in the car." She's like, "What do you mean, don't do that in the car?" "No, don't do that in the car. Just put that away and wait till we get there. Then you can do a little top up once the car has stopped, and it'll be fine." She's like, "Oh God, Mum, you're so annoying." Casual conversation that would normally happen. So arrived at the church absolutely fine, running a little bit late, but traditionally late, which is fine. And they're obviously prepping the bridesmaids to smile. The flower girl spills all of the petals on the floor literally the minute before we're supposed to step out onto the aisle. Lovely ceremony, photos, blah blah blah. She gets in the car with her new husband back into the vintage Rolls Royce to take them back to the venue, which is probably 30-40 minute drive. We all get in separate cars back to the venue, ready for the reception. Probably about 20 minutes after we had left in the vehicle that we were going in, had a missed call from the groom. Called him back. I was like, "Oh, hi, everything okay?" "No,
Oh
we
no.
need you to go upstairs into the bridal suite to get this magic pen because the bride was putting on her lip gloss while in the car. A bit of her hair had flicked onto the lip gloss wand, then dropped down onto her wedding dress. She tried to wipe it off, rubbed it in. So by the time she got to the venue, there was this big splodge, just probably to one side, just above her chest. Pretty obvious. So,
Mother knows best, eh?
oh, in this scenario, yeah. Why didn't you just listen to your mum? This would never have happened. So she comes into the accommodation. They don't even go and see any of their guests because she's clearly upset because it's quite stressful, something like that to happen. I sit her down. I was like, "Why don't you just have a quick glass of champagne? Open the Verve." Her mum comes in. I was like, "Everything's fine." Just trying to get it off with this magic pen because she brought us a stain remover pen for something like this to happen. I didn't even think about that when it was my wedding.
Yeah, that's got to be in your emergency kit along with a little sewing kit.
Didn't even think about that. But then I am rubbing it off with this pen. It's not fucking working. If anything, it's making it worse because
Yeah.
it's sort of bleeding through the material where you're getting it a little bit wet with the pen thing.
Yeah, she had the satin dress as well, didn't she?
Yeah, it was absolute disaster, I would say. Like, not much else is going to go wrong apart from this on your day, which, in the grand scheme of things, is great. So, Ian thought, "Oh, you know what we'll do? We'll just fashion a new buttonhole." I was like, "That's a great idea. Have you all of a sudden turned into a florist? Or let's just cut some of the flowers off your bridesmaid bouquet, we'll wrap them up, and we'll just stick it." I was like, Just stop right there. Why don't we just use the groom's buttonhole? Because he's here in the room." "Oh, yeah. Phil, get your buttonhole off, stick it on." Literally covered it perfectly. Looked like it was supposed to be part of the wedding. Like a teeny tiny corsage, if you like, on the side. And then we just got the best man to give the groom his buttonhole.
Yeah. And actually, I've seen the photos. It looked really cute.
Just really cute.
Yeah, it was really cute.
Just looks so nice.
Yeah. But things like that do happen, and there are people around you that work together to make sure fix it,
Yeah.
to sort it out.
One of
Don't worry.
her friends came up to me, obviously, because she'd shared what had happened. She said, "Oh, you can tell that you work in the industry." I was like, "Oh, what do you mean by that?" "Well, didn't panic, did you?" "No, I did not panic, no." She was like, "You came up with the buttonhole idea?" "Yep." Because I'm not going to start creating my own buttonhole with my bouquet. Who is going to do that?
I would definitely do that.
Just get a bit of ribbon out of my emergency kit? No, absolutely not. I'm not doing that. So, yes, the morning of, listen to your mum,
Listen to your mum.
because she's probably right in this case.
Yeah. And don't panic.
Do not panic.
Don't panic.
Anything
And
else on your list then?
I also, which some people might not agree with, but if you are feeling really, really stressed and it's starting to ruin your morning, and the only person that you want to speak to is your other half, just phone them. Don't worry about this tradition about not seeing or speaking to them. Just phone them and talk to them, because then you'll remember actually it's just the two of you getting married today. You'll see each other in a minute. Like, don't just do what you need to do, just phone them,
I
speak,
completely agree.
FaceTime them, do whatever you need to do. And if it's really that bad, tell them to come and see you, because it honestly really doesn't matter. What matters is that you're feeling comfortable and you're feeling happy. And just holding their hand and seeing them for 10 minutes is going to do that. Ask them to come and see you.
If I was to do it all again, as much as I loved how well my sister hosted me, I would have loved it even more if Ian was there too.
Exactly. Because it's a really nice part of the day.
Yeah.
And like, they also don't really get it. When
No.
married, they all like have a cigar or do whatever, their shot of whiskey or whatever they're doing, but they are actually running around the venue normally, making sure everything's okay. They get given jobs normally on the morning, so they don't experience that sort of morning of like the brides do.
And when we did a wedding, must have been a couple of weeks ago now, that is exactly what the groom was doing. He was just sort of welcoming guests as they were arriving, because they were also staying at the venue, so they arrived a little bit earlier than the rest of the guests. So he was just welcoming them. Go get yourself a drink. Your rooms will be ready in a minute. Blah blah blah.
And it was raining, wasn't it? And he was holding umbrellas for everybody and welcoming them, going and get them from their car and walking them to the venue and stuff.
Yeah, because it takes 5 minutes to put a suit on.
Exactly.
So,
Because they've had their hair done at the barbers the day before, haven't they? They just need to put a bit of gel in it, and they normally don't wear any kind of makeup. Men, bit of concealer or a bit of I've seen a little bit of powder if they're getting a bit sweaty, but they don't have to do anything. They don't have to worry about wearing socks 2 hours before. So they're free if you need them. They can come to you.
there is nothing worse than a sweaty forehead on a groom.
No.
Or a bride. Just pop a little bit of matte powder on there, it'll be absolutely fine.
Some makeup artists offer that service, so they'll do the hair and makeup of all the brides and the bridesmaids and the mothers and everybody. And then if you're getting married in a fairly short distance or in the same place, if you're all getting ready, in the same place, they will offer a service where they'll go down and any last minute spots of the groomsmen they'll cover and put a bit of powder on.
I think that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I would rather that than a sweaty forehead.
Because also photos make you look greasier than you are.
Shiny. Yeah. Anything else on your list, Em?
I don't think so. I just had the food thing, which I think is my number one. Eat.
Yeah. Eat the food. Have an early night. Do as much planning as you can and just enjoy. And if you're not enjoying it, reevaluate what you would enjoy and make a change.
Yeah. Reach out to somebody that can help.
I agree. Please like, subscribe, rate and review our podcast on whatever platform you listen or watch us on. If you want to keep up to date or have any suggestions on topics that you'd like us to cover, please follow our Instagram account at the I Do Crew podcast. If you would like to make a donation to our future kit, that would also be welcome, so that you can then see Em's hoodie that she's wearing. And next week we're talking all things honeymoon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
You've been listening to the I Do Crew podcast with Jen and Emma. Keep up to date with our podcast news by following our I Do Crew podcast Instagram account. Thanks for listening.